Alright, buckle up, folks. We're diving into a wild, twisty tale where drama, betrayal, and teenage angst rule supreme. Get ready to roll your eyes, gasp, and maybe even shed a tear or two. Here we go. The Drama Queen Chronicles. Episode 1. The Whispering Winds of Etrusca. Yo, imagine this. Late night vibes in the castle, moonlight cutting through the dark like some kinda magical laser. The air's thick with tension. Inside, there's this epic showdown brewing, right? C-L-A-T-T-T-U-D. Riam B-L. G-R-A-S-H. Dispose of the crown prince at once. For my love, my idol. T-R-E-M-B-L. T-R-E-M-B-L. That's Ariadne tripping over herself with anxiety. She's like, totally in love with Cesare, this brooding bad boy with serious plans. Like, betray your country level plans. I did as he bid me and became a traitor to my country. I hope he'll be pleased, now that the throne belongs to him. Her heart's racing like mad. Cesar. F-I-N-L-A. T-H-I-S-I-S-W-K-T-I-G-L-E-N-T-D. T-H-E-J-O-Y-H-E-F-E-L-S-I-S-A-L-S-O-M-Y-O-D-N. For real, this girl would do anything for him. And she means anything? Flashback to the fall, 9 years ago, things went down. Like heady stuff. Cesar overthrew the crown prince Alfonso and became the regent of Etruscan kingdom. Ariadne was right by his side, dealing with all the palace drama, ruling over the internal affairs. She was like his unofficial queen, handling duties like a boss but without the crown. Was PR. It has been 9 long years. The nobles were always talking smack behind her back. Ariadne was like this unrefined farm girl in their eyes, totally unworthy of Cesar. But she didn't care. Cesar loved her, and that's all that mattered. Or so she thought. Whispers in the dark. Speaking of which, I wonder when Lord Cesar will find himself a wife. Why, perhaps he'll marry his current fiancée. Could you imagine? How unseemly that would be. C-L-E-E-T-A. Take E-I-T-B-A-C-K. Ariadne shouted, standing up for Cesar. You may say what you want about me, but do not ever speak of Cesare that way again. Cesare entered, his presence like an ice storm chilling the room. Y-U-H-A-D-N-O-R-I-G-H-T-T-O-T-R-D-A-T-N-O-B-L-E-W-L-N-N-N-N. Up-T-H-E-C-A-P-I-T-L-T-Ch-I-T-W-A-I. D-O-Y-U-N-O-T-C. T-Chat-I-M-U-S-T-E-A-R-N-T-H-E-R-S-U-P-P-O-R-T. C-O-M-P-R-E-D-T-O-U-R-P-R-I-D-E-F-U-L-I-S-O-L-E-C. C-O-U-N-T-S-S. M-A-R-Q-E-S-A-N-D-H-E-R-P-O-I-T-I-C-L-I-N-L-U-E-N-C-A-R-E-O-F-N-E. Ariadne's heart sank. Was she just a pawn in his game? Even after 8 years of loyalty and sacrifice. The cold reality. Cesare wasn't done dropping bombs. To serve as my queen, I am to wed your sister, Lady Isabella. S-H-E-E. What? My older sister was already married to the former crown prince Alfonso. The king cannot marry a widow who has lost her innocence. Cesar smirked. Well, fortunately, Lady Isabella remained chaste through her short-lived marriage, which allows her to seek another husband. Or do you wish to condemn your own sister to spend the rest of her days in a cold, dreary nunnery like all the other widows? Ariadne was fuming. C-H-A-S-T. I-G-N-O-D-U F-O-R-F-F-C-T-T-Chat I-S-N-T-T-R-U-E S-E-A-L-R-E-D B-O-R-E-N-D-I-C-R-R-I-D Alfonso C-H-I-L-D T-U-C-H-A-J-A-L-O-S-P-R-S-O-N Y-O-U-A-R-E Whoa, yo-yo-U-L-E-T-R-U-L-I S-E-K-T-U-S-U-L-I W-R-O-D-N-S-I-S-T-A-R-S-G-O-O-D-N-M-E A-W-A-W-I-T-H-Y-U I-W-I-L-N-O-T-T-O-L-E-R-A-T-E-C-C-B-S-E-F-E-9-9-E-W-L-S. Betrayal and heart touch, Cesar's words cut deep. You said you love me, did you not? You said you'll take me as your queen, and that we'll be together forever, until the end of our days. How dull, indeed. You're just another common wench whose selfish desires would hinder our grand cause. You're nothing compared to Lady Isabella. Ariadne's world shattered. I betrayed my country on your behalf. Look at my hand. I gave up my ring finger for your ambitions. For you, I abandoned my reputation, prospects of marriage, and my entire life. Cesar sneered. Guards, Tone. Itseems, Ladyliriakslost, Elfintofhystria, Aveercon, Nedinthewesterntower. The Fall of Ariadne, Episode 2. Caged in the tower, Ariadne paced the small, cold room of the Western Tower. The walls seemed to close in on her with each passing minute. She could hear the distant murmurs of the castle below, where life continued as if nothing had happened. How could he do this to me? She whispered, tears streaming down her face. I did everything for him. As the days turned into weeks, Ariadne's despair turned into determination. She couldn't let Cesare get away with his betrayal. She had to find a way to escape and take back what was rightfully hers. An unexpected ally. One night, as the moon hung low in the sky, a shadowy figure slipped into Ariadne's cell. It was Lucia, a servant who had always been kind to her. Lucia, what are you doing here? Ariadne asked, her voice a mix of hope and confusion. I couldn't stand to see you suffer like this, my lady, Lucia replied. I know a way out, but you have to trust me. Ariadne didn't hesitate. I'll do anything to get out of here. With Lucia's help, Ariadne managed to slip past the guards and escape the tower. The two women fled into the night, disappearing into the dense forest surrounding the castle. The underground resistance. Lucia led Ariadne to a hidden camp deep in the forest. There, a group of rebels had been quietly gathering strength, waiting for the right moment to strike against Cesar's oppressive rule. Welcome to the resistance, said their leader, a rugged man named Marcus. We've been waiting for someone like you, Lady Ariadne. Ariadne was stunned. Me? But I'm no leader? Marcus shook his head. You have the fire and the knowledge we need. With you on our side, we can bring down Cesare and restore justice to the kingdom. Ariadne knew this was her chance to make things right. She swore to fight alongside the rebels and take down Cesare once and for all. A plan in motion. Over the next few months, Ariadne trained with the rebels, honing her skills in combat and strategy. She became a fierce warrior, driven by a burning desire for revenge. The resistance grew stronger with each passing day, gaining new recruits and gathering intelligence on Cesare's forces. Ariadne proved to be an invaluable asset, her knowledge of the palace and its inner workings giving them a crucial advantage. One night, as the rebels gathered around the campfire, Marcus laid out their plan. We strike at dawn. With Lady Ariadne leading us, we'll infiltrate the castle and take down Cesare once and for all. Ariadne's heart pounded in her chest. This was it, the moment she had been waiting for. The battle for Etrusca. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, the rebels launched their attack. They moved swiftly and silently, taking out guards and breaching the castle's defenses with ease. Ariadne led the charge, her sword flashing in the early morning light. She fought her way through the castle, her mind focused on one goal, reaching Cesare. In the throne room, she finally confronted him. Cesare looked shocked to see her alive, let alone leading an army of rebels. Ariadne, how did you? Save it, Cesare, she spat, her voice dripping with venom. This ends now. They clashed in a fierce battle, swords clanging and sparks flying. Ariadne fought with everything she had, fueled by years of betrayal and hard talk. Finally, with a swift and powerful strike, she disarmed Cesare and held her blade to his throat. It's over, Cesare, she said, her voice cold and steady. You will pay for everything you've done. Justice and redemption. With Cesare defeated, the kingdom of Etrusca began to heal. The rebels restored order and justice, and Ariadne was hailed as a hero. Though the road to recovery was long and difficult, Ariadne found solace in knowing she had avenged her betrayal and helped restore peace to her homeland. And as she stood on the balcony of the castle, looking out over the kingdom she had fought so hard to save, She knew she had finally found her true place in the world. Chapter 1. Rewind the clock. It was the day of the coronation. The music played, the kind that would make you think everything was all roses and sunshine. But for Ariadne, it was like nails on a chalkboard. She watched as Cesare, the man she did everything for, stood there, crowning Isabella, her sister. The betrayal hit her harder than a slap in the face. Isabella walked into the room, her smug smile more irritating than a mosquito buzz. "Still daydreaming, sis?" she sneered. Ariadne's hands balled into fists. "What are you doing here, Isabella? Isn't it obvious?" "I'm here to see you off," Isabella said, her tone dripping with false sweetness. "After all, Cesare is now my husband. What have you done to him?" Ariadne demanded, her voice shaking. Isabella laughed. "Oh, Ariadne, you really thought he loved you? He was always mine. It was your duty to step aside. But Alfonso, you loved him, didn't you?" Ariadne's voice broke, remembering the kind prince who had once loved Isabella. Isabella's eyes flashed with annoyance. "Loved him? Please, he was just a means to an end. Now that end is Cesare. And you? You were nothing more than a pawn." Ariadne felt like she was suffocating. "You're lying. Cesare wouldn't do this to me. Wouldn't he?" Isabella leaned closer, her breath hot against Ariadne's ear. "He came to me begging. Sadie only kept you around because you were convenient. But now he has me, and you're just a loose end." Ariadne's heart shattered. The room spun, and she clutched at the wall for support. "No, this isn't right." Isabella smirked. "Face it, Ariadne. Men like Cesare only want what's best for them, and what's best for him is me." Before Ariadne could respond, guards burst into the room, grabbing her roughly. "Take her to the tower," Isabella ordered, her voice cold. "Make sure she never bothers us again." As they dragged her away, Ariadne's mind raced. This couldn't be the end. She had given everything for Cesare, sacrificed her life, her honor. And for what? To be discarded like trash. As she was thrown into the cold, dark tower, a strange calmness washed over her. If only she could go back, do things differently. Maybe then she could protect herself, find her own path. And then everything went black. Chapter 2. A Second Chance. When Ariadne opened her eyes, she was no longer in the tower. The familiar sight of her childhood home greeted her. She looked down at her hands. They were small, like a child's. Panic gripped her heart. Had she somehow traveled back in time? "Ariadne, stop staring at yourself and get to work." Her mother's voice rang out. Ariadne blinked. She was really back in her childhood. Back when she was nothing more than a lowborn maid. But this time, things would be different. She looked at her reflection in the small, cracked mirror. A mole under her eye that wasn't there before caught her attention. Strange, but she couldn't dwell on that now. She had a second chance, and she wouldn't waste it. "I'll show them," she whispered to herself. "I won't let anyone use me again." Chapter 3. The plot begins. Life as a maid was tough, but Ariadne was tougher. She worked hard, but she also started planning. If she wanted to change her future, she needed to be smart. She couldn't let her emotions get the best of her. She observed everyone, especially Isabella. She was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. But Ariadne knew better. She knew Isabella's true nature and vowed to never let her sister manipulate her again. A few months passed, and Ariadne had grown accustomed to her new old life. One day, while cleaning the grand hall, she overheard a conversation that caught her interest. "Did you hear? Count Cesare is visiting soon. They say he's looking for a bride." Ariadne's heart skipped a beat. Cesare! This was her chance to change everything. But she had to play it right. She couldn't let her past feelings cloud her judgment. Chapter 4. Meeting Cesare. The day Cesare arrived was a whirlwind of activity. Everyone was bustling about, making sure everything was perfect. Ariadne kept her distance, watching from the shadows. Cesare was as handsome as she remembered, his presence commanding attention. But she wouldn't let herself be swayed by his charm. Not this time. As she served the guests, she caught Cesare's eye. He looked at her with curiosity, a flicker of recognition in his eyes. But he said nothing. Ariadne felt a chill run down her spine. This was her chance to change her fate, but it was also a dangerous game she was playing. Chapter 5. Gaining Favor. Over the next few weeks, Ariadne made herself indispensable. She worked harder than ever, always staying out of trouble, but making sure to catch Cesar's attention with her dedication and wit. One evening, as she was cleaning the library, Cesare entered. "You there?" he called out. Ariadne turned, her heart pounding. "Yes, my lord." "You work harder than most," he observed, his gaze piercing. "Thank you, my lord," she replied, keeping her tone humble. "What is your name?" he asked, stepping closer. "Ariadne, my lord." He studied her for a moment. "You're different from the others." She met his gaze, unflinching. "I try to be, my lord." He smiled, a small, genuine smile that made her heart ache with memories of their past. But she pushed those feelings aside. She had to stay focused. Chapter 6. The First Test. As the days turned into weeks, Ariadne found herself drawn into Cesare's world. He seemed genuinely interested in her, and she used every opportunity to prove her worth. But Isabella watched her with suspicion, her eyes cold and calculating. One day, Cesare summoned Ariadne to his private chambers. "I have a task for you," he said, handing her a sealed letter. "Deliver this to the Duke of Veloria. Do not let anyone else see it." Ariadne nodded, taking the letter. She knew this was a test, a way for Cesare to see if he could trust her, and she wouldn't let him down. Chapter 7. Betrayal and Loyalty. As Ariadne made her way to the Duke's estate, she felt a sense of foreboding. She clutched the letter tightly, determined to see the task through. But as she neared her destination, she was ambushed by a group of men. "Hand over the letter," one of them demanded, his eyes gleaming with malice. Ariadne's heart raced. She was outnumbered and had no way to defend herself. But she wouldn't give up so easily. "Never," she spat, clutching the letter to her chest. The men lunged at her and a fierce struggle ensued. Ariadne fought with everything she had, but she was no match for their strength. Just as they were about to overpower her, a voice rang out. "Enough?" Cesare appeared, his eyes blazing with fury. "How dare you attack one of my servants?" The men immediately backed off, fear evident in their eyes. "We didn't know she was yours, my lord," one of them stammered. "Leave now, before I change my mind," Cesare growled. The men fled, leaving Ariadne trembling but unharmed. Cesare approached her, his expression softening. "Are you all right?" Ariadne nodded, tears of relief streaming down her face. "Thank you, my lord." He gently wiped her tears away. "You did well, Ariadne. I'm proud of you." For the first time, Ariadne felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, she could change her fate after all. Chapter 8. Closer to the truth. Ariadne continued to prove herself, gaining Cesare's trust and favor. But Isabella's jealousy grew, and she wasn't about to let her sister usurp her position. One evening, as Ariadne was preparing for bed, Isabella burst into her room. "What do you think you're doing?" she hissed. Ariadne stood her ground. "I'm doing what I must to survive." Isabella's eyes narrowed. "You think you can replace me? Think again, sister. Cesare will never love you." Ariadne's heart ached, but she refused to back down. "I don't need his love. I need his trust." Isabella laughed coldly. "You'll never have either. Mark my words." As Isabella stormed out, Ariadne took a deep breath. She knew the road ahead would be tough, but she was determined to see it through. Chapter 9. The Unraveling. The tension between Ariadne and Isabella reached a boiling point. Cesare, sensing the animosity, decided to address it. He called them both to his chambers. "I've noticed the discord between you two," he began, his tone stern. "This cannot continue." Isabella immediately put on her innocent act. "I'm only trying